Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Bill Warner with EntreDot, and this is Monday Night Live with EntreDot. Glad you could be with us tonight. Look forward to talking to you here. Hey, the subject I'd like to go over with you this evening is a subject that I've carried around with me for a long time. Is sales is more than you think it is. You sell more than you might think, another way of putting it. In other words, as an entrepreneur, and if you're the founding entrepreneur, selling is part of your life for as long as you own the company. So I probably could tell all sorts of funny and perhaps embarrassing stories about founders I've talked to that claim and are adamant that they don't sell. They find it uncomfortable. They say they're not good at it. Could be true. They don't like it. They rather somebody else do it. They just want to build this product and bring it out to the market because it's a good product or service. They just don't want to sell. So I'm addressing my remarks now to those people and people like them, or think they want to be an entrepreneur, but they won't have to sell. I want to take the few minutes we have together tonight to try to convince you otherwise, that you do have to sell. So I'm going to go through about 9 different examples of you as the startup entrepreneur, the founder of a company, and its CEO or president, whatever you're going to call yourselves, you're going to be selling. And perhaps a whole lot more than you think, which is the title of this talk. So let's start with that. Who the heck are you selling to? You might not think the way I do, but I think the first set of people that you've got to sell to is your family. As an entrepreneur, and you're going to start your own business, quit your job, or you've already quit your job, or you're transitioning out of another company, you're going to start your own company, that the first people you got to sell this idea to is your family, your spouse or your partner in life, people that are very, very important to you and dependent upon you, and perhaps vice versa. So you have to have a full discussion of the implications of you starting a company and fully acknowledge this is going to take a lot of your time. You're going to be faced with 70, 80 hour a week work environment. And it's going to be for a long time. Your financial situation is going to be strained. You're not going to make a whole lot of money early on unless you're already independently wealthy, and it doesn't matter. But most startup entrepreneurs aren't like that at all. So it's going to be a strain on the family. I don't want to dwell on it further. Take the time, sit down with your partner in life and go through the pluses and minuses of this and what this might mean to your relationship and the viability of your family and your being able to support what's needed for housing and food and entertainment and all the other normal day-to-day expenses. Get complete buy-in from your family. Buy-in to you doing this and to the business that you think you're going to start. They've got to kind of believe in it too, as you already apparently do, else you wouldn't be talking to them. Number 1, sell to the family, and successfully so. The next is you might need or might have in mind that you're going to have a co-founder, another person that together you're going to start this new company. What you're basically saying, you're marrying somebody else for a very long period of time to be with you day in and day out with this company. They're part owner as a co-founder. How you split it up is totally up to the 2 or 3 of you that do this. But when you pick a co-founder, you're selling not only the idea of the business, the premise of the business, but you're selling the reason for this relationship. So there's some sort of complementary skills you have that they don't, and vice versa. And some idea on the roles each of you are going to play for the life of the company. Because these skills you have are going to be expanded, and that complementary relationship will last a very long time. And this co-founder has to have buy-in as well. So again, you're selling the value of your company. It's a great idea. It looks like a great business opportunity. It's going to be well worth this other person's time and energy and commitment, full-time commitment to this business. You can get that across to them. You have sold them on the idea of becoming a co-founder. Later, when the two of you or three of you as co-founders of the company have moved the ball forward, you may discover that you need other team members, not founders, co-founders, but people who are going to play a role in the company. It's kind of the startup team, people that can get this company rolling in the first place. So again, you got to put your dancing shoes on and sell why this is a great idea for a business, and sell them that they are an extra special choice to run some part of it. One of the typical team members that's brought in earlier is someone to do product development, whether it's software or a retail product or a hardware product. People that know how to do that are specially skilled people. I thought you're going to hire a marketing and salesperson at the time, because at this point you don't have anything to sell, so there's no use in doing that. So it's development, maybe market research, maybe some generalist that can be a business development person that help you refine your plan and start reaching out to get in more depth how you're going to enter the market, things like that early on. But for every single one of these potential team members, you are faced with the challenge of convincing them that this is a great business idea and it has every reason to succeed, and they have an important role to play, and you'd like them to join you. Sell, sell, sell. That's what you're doing here. Now, a really big challenge comes along. You got a team, you've done enough research. Now you need some money to get this company going. You need investors or somebody that's going to part with a bunch of money and entrust it to you and your team to do something that moves this ball forward. At this stage, very early on, it's the development of the product. If it's hardware, it's a prototype development and testing it out and prove the concept with some number of early customers. If it's software, it's an MVP and all that goes along with that. So, dancing shoes on again, you're going to go sell the quality of your company, why this is a great investment for them to make. They're making a long-term financial commitment. It's going to be an obligation that you're going to have to fulfill. So if they're going to buy shares of your company, what they're looking forward to is an exit some 5 years down the road, maybe less, but usually more, unfortunately. So you're going to have to convince that there's going to be a great return for them as investors. That's what you're selling. Give me money, I'm going to give you tenfold of it back in 5 years. It's a little exaggerated, but something like that. If you're borrowing money, well, now they want to be convinced that, by golly, this is going to get up and running, it's going to get up and running quickly, and you can start paying me back in a few months. Now, you're going to negotiate something later, but you're going to sell a set of terms for how to pay the money back, and it's got to be convincing enough for them to actually loan you the money. So if you need $100,000, $200,000, whatever, to get this idea into prototype mode, you got some selling to do. So you're selling again, aren't you? Okay, so you got this startup money, let's call it. Now, you got something, you've developed a product, piece of software or otherwise. you now have to bring the product in this early form to early adopters, your first customers. Now, these first customers may be people you already know. You may have met them all the way back many months ago in your market research, and they expressed interest, in a great deal of interest. So you even might have told them that you'll be back in several months to bring them the opportunity to be one of the first users of the product, to help prove the concept that you just got through talking to them about. And they're going to make a commitment to it. So you're standing in front of people you may already know. Well, maybe these are also people that have been simply referred to you by others. Maybe some other team member suggested that you sell to somebody he or she knows. In either case, you are literally selling a product or service to a very early customer. That's selling. And it's you doing it. You as the founder, CEO of this company. That's the closest thing that is probably on the mind of the person I said I've talked to many different times who doesn't like selling. That's probably what he has in his or her mind when it is selling to customers. May not have thought that he also has to sell to his family, co-founders, team, investors. And now the next one is potential channel partners. So if you're in a business where you need to sell through others, indirect channels, like distributors, value-added resellers or remarketers, you need to go sell to them too and convince them that what you have to sell will make them money, because you're going to sell this to them wholesale at a wholesale price, less than half of retail, and that your product, or coupled with a service, is going to be a winner in the market they're most familiar with. You've heard the term shelf space in retail. Well, you're getting shelf space, mind space, resource space on the shelves of channel partners. If you're going to put a direct sales force in place, you've got to convince people that they're going to come join your company either as a subcontractor or join the company as an employee, probably on commission only, to sell your product. And they're going to have to believe clearly and definitely that they can sell what it is you got for them to sell. So you're selling to potential salespeople. So you're selling again. We're getting way down this list of people you're selling to, and I'm not done yet. During the course of your work and your outreach to all the way back to your market research days till these early customers you're talking to, you're running into all sorts of different opportunities that, for most part, are going to divert your attention from what you should be doing. But you may run into potential alliances, companies that, well, wait a minute, if we teamed with them in marketing and or sales, we would both be better off because you got something they need and vice versa. They may have a sales force in the market you're in. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Or they may have a product that is complementary to yours and adds features to your total solution. You want to be able to sell theirs. Well, you have to sell them on this relationship and how it will work and why this is good business for them as well as it being good business for you. And there's a reason for a complementary relationship and a reason to create an alliance arrangement, a contractual arrangement between the two of you. That's selling. It takes a CEO to pull it off. The last one that I want to bring up is selling to future employees. So even in this very early stage world we're in, employees are going to be the people that fill the additional roles in your company. As your company gets moving beyond this startup phase and early adopter phase, you are going to have the need for additional employees. It could be development. You may wind up bringing in a full-time marketing person, but you're still very early. So you're still going to have to sell them on the idea that they're joining a very early stage company, and you're the right company for them to be with. You might be hiring them away from a high-paying job. You're going to have some convincing argument for them to leave that and join you at probably a lesser salary, but they get other benefits like maybe equity in the company, or a very attractive bonus program. So as you bring in employees, you are, as the owner, founder, are going to be interviewing everyone. There may be other people in the company that also interview people, because you want a broad set of perspectives on any given individual, but you're interviewing too. You are being paid attention to by the interviewee as the final say. So if you want them in your company, you're selling again the value of your company and why you think it's going to succeed, and the traction you've gotten so far. You're going to put on your dancing shoes and convince them to join your company. Now, I've gone through 8 so far. The 9th is the obvious one: selling to customers. I'm going to get you on this one. As the founder, you may have brought in a sales executive who just takes the charge to do customer selling or to sell into the distributor channel, because they're a channel management kind of executive. And they're selling for you. I don't have to do this anymore. Good Lord, I'm saved after a year of waiting. Well, wait a minute, not so fast. You're the CEO of the company. Guess what you get to do? You're the icing on the cake. When they go out and sell, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a special invite by the head of sales to come visit their customer and close the deal for them, because the company they're selling to needs to meet the CEO. Well, there you go. You're going to go out and do a very special sales job, complementary to what your sales executive has already done. So you didn't get out of this at all. You're still out there selling. So there's 9 ways that you, as the founder of your company, are selling, whether you like it or not. So look, the facts are, I hope I've kind of demonstrated this too, that you're always selling. As a founder of a startup company, or you're joining a company as its CEO, you're always selling. And I have to be frank with you. If you really believe you can't sell, or in actuality you can't, it's just not in you, you hadn't ought to be a CEO of a company. You can be a founder, but you'll bring in a CEO as a co-founder and let that dude take care of all this selling stuff I just went through. You have another role to play in the company. It doesn't change your ownership materially anyway, because you're going to share some of the ownership with your team anyway, but you're going to share a substantial amount of it with a new CEO. You still have a giant share of the company. You're the founder. It was your dumb idea in the first place. So you're going to be fine. But you're going to let somebody else drive the boat, and you're going to work for them. That's, I think, the most viable way to make this work. So the role of this founder is to be a charismatic leader, the visionary, the holder of the vision, the purveyor of the vision, the chief communicator within the company, the team builder, the people that gathers people around him, the person that brings people around him or her to put in place the right team for the company. The chief planner, certainly the chief strategist, for a very long time. That's a big set of shoes to fill for a CEO of a company or a founder of a company. But when it comes time to selling, you got 2 choices. Do it yourself, or bring somebody in to do it for you and you work for them. So that's my speech for tonight. So be a salesperson. It's fun. But if you don't want to be, or you just can't do it, take the other alternative. It still is going to be a lot of fun. Starting a company, and the idea was yours, and you're still a substantial owner, probably still the biggest owner. That's it for tonight. We did this in 20 minutes again, right on time. Take down my well-written notes. The question I've got here has got one, is, will anyone think anything, my paraphrasing of this question, will anyone outside the company think any less of the founder of the company if they bring in a CEO? The answer is hell no. In fact, investors are going to think this person is pretty bright. He or she knows their limitations and has brought in the right team member to run the company. I've seen it done many times. It's going to work a whole lot better for you. So don't get your ego involved in this decision of are you or are you not the CEO. Make the right choice for the company and improving or taking the best approach to ensure success of the company, being under the right leadership. That's it for questions. We'll publish this tomorrow on Facebook as well as LinkedIn and on Twitter, if you partake in any of them. I've enjoyed talking to you tonight. I hope this was helpful and added a perspective of what selling really means. Have a good evening. Again, I'm Bill Warner with EntreDot. Good night.